Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Ranwin Parked with me, Cone Dodger, and Kurt J. Mac. And not ZK, because he's off doing cool people things. Kurt, are you
Cool
familiar with
people.
grid life?
I am not. This is the first I've ever heard of the life of Grid, other than the video game series.
Which was not good.
No, that is not the life I wish to lead.
I don't know how I feel about grid life. It's like a car show slash drifting slash like road racing time trial-y stuff slash music show.
It's Forza Horizon, essentially.
It's basically Forza Horizon. It seems very youthy.
The youths. Yeah, I've been watching his Instagram stories and things, and there's a lot of drifting. There's a lot of stance, bruh, going on, and I don't know that I'd like to spend more than a day. It'd be interesting to check out, but more than a day of that thing might be a little bit much for my brain.
The closest one to me is at Road Atlanta, and I've been tempted to go on a couple occasions, but it's like, would I really just have more fun going to a real race at Road Atlanta? Because
Right. Is it like a traveling series like Radwood or what all these other things popping up?
yeah, I guess that's what I would describe it. This one's at Pikes Peak, and that seems kind of cool. At least you're like at Pikes Peak.
Right.
They went up they went up Pikes Peak today, so that seems interesting. That I don't know. Well, they're there because ZK's brother has a GT86 FRZ, whatever it is. I think this is the Scion version. I don't remember. Either way, he has a time trial car, and he competes in time trial racing. So they're there.
Okay, I was wondering because I saw that. I'm like, that's not ZK's. I don't remember hearing anything about that.
It was there in the garage when I was over there helping them pull the motor out of the Corvair.
Right.
And the thing I remember most about it is the very dangerous rear wing that sticks out a foot beyond the edge of the car and is at the perfect height to basically take your eye out.
Take your eye out.
Take your eye out. That's all I remember of the car, really.
Right. There's in Portland next weekend, there's a Subaru meetup, and all the pictures of previous events have that same kind of youth. Everybody with their WRXs and their BRZs and things like that. A bit of the youth car show party atmosphere that I'm maybe not too down with.
On the flip side, I'm like, anytime I go to car shows here, the only kind of car shows we really have is the Wangadingas.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel right there either. Like, that's not me. But I'm not a youth. Basically, I'm in an automotive midlife crisis.
Where, yeah, you just like spending time alone in your garage with your cars, getting mad at them.
Basically.
That's the hobby in a nutshell.
All right, I'm going to go buy a C4 Corvette. I already have a members only jacket. I'm pretty much set.
I think we have a new identity.
Honestly, Radwood seems like the most on brand for me, but they don't think they do anything down here. There's not much of that kind of scene here.
No, there's one like right after, like this weekend. I think they did the Northern California Radwood, so they're doing the West Coast tour right now.
Here it's either Wangadinga or like literally they're called the Touch a Truck Show.
Touch a Truck Show,
which is just like, you got your swamp trucks, you got your big rigs, and then you got your bro dozers. You got the Plaqueline specials, which are the trucks that have the lift in the front but not in the back. Yeah,
interesting.
Also, not my scene.
No, yeah, there was the same company that put on the old school European and JDM pre-88 show also did a show recently called Stance Wars.
Gross.
And that's not somewhere I belong. So
Yeah.
I don't know what takes place in Stance Wars, but I'm assuming there's a lot of stance, bro.
I can only imagine they have like camber gauges. They got little dials. They're measuring tires to fenders.
Right, yeah, I was about to say this gap between the tires and fenders.
Oh no. Okay, that's not where we belong either. You know where we belong, Kurt?
Where?
Alone in our homes looking at car ads on the internet. And we'll begin doing that with the staple Ran When Parked. And I start with a 1984 TVR 280i. This one sent in from none other than my father, who, yeah, I mean, apple tree, is local to me. So just saying, anybody out there looking for a TVR, hit me up. I know a connection. This one is TVR is a weird company, and I keep apparently finding all these weird British cars. I must have some kind of like British car curse or something like that.
They fit a very specific profile, I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I struggle to even put this in Ran When Parked because I can't say for sure that it ran. Is all I know about TVR. This car was running when it was parked 2 years. Oh, sorry. This car was parked when it was running in a 2-car garage with 3 other cars. Is that like
pertinent information, by the way?
Are you like measuring things here? But it hasn't been driven in 10 years, so its mechanical condition is unknown. I don't think unknown is the word.
Yeah, I think we know a lot.
The driver's side wheel is currently locked up and the tire is flat. If you aren't familiar with TVRs, look it up online to learn more about this unique car.
I feel like that is going to hurt his chances of selling.
Right, yeah.
You don't want people to be educated about this choice.
I mean, it should just be like, rare, cool, hot rod, convertible. Those are the words you should use. Don't use unique. Look it up online. Don't let anybody know that it's British. Is there more pictures? I think there is. Yeah, this very red interior.
Oh man, look at that center console. They did not try at all. It's like the inside of a Lamborghini Countach.
Every TVR I've ever seen basically looks like a kit car. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad... Whoa, look at this seatbelt receptacle.
Ooh,
it looks like
on the thumb side.
It looks like the joystick in like a fighter jet.
Yeah.
And that's your like fire button, which
or eject.
That's fair, yeah. That's fair. These were the only 3 pictures. It's got a shape that it really does look like a kit car. Like if you told me this was built on a VW Bug, I would be like, yeah, or Fiero.
Yeah, that's a very parts bin taillights.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is some of the flattest glass. Both the door glass and the windshield image is like it's just a sheet of glass you picked up.
Yeah, there is literally no curve. I didn't even notice that. There's literally no curve.
Right.
Huh. And 1 wiper? Yeah, 1 wiper. The advantage of that very flat window. See, they were thinking.
Yeah. You don't need there's only 1 surface to wipe.
Now later
not doing that later.
Anyway, later into like the late 80s and the 90s, TVR started to get pretty cool. I really know of them from like the Gran Turismo days, which is probably the only TVR you know of as well.
Yeah.
I think it was I don't remember how to say it, Sabera or Saraba. I don't remember, but it looked very Viper-like.
Right, a lot more bulbous and round and has more curves than this one has 0.
This is maximum wedge. I mean, that windshield. How did I not notice the windshield?
It's like the first thing I noticed. That thing's like a table, a dinner table is what it is.
I mean, I guess
it's your glass desk.
Easy to replace. I mean, you're not going to have to get custom windshield for the thing. Just go down to the old home improvement store. I don't think TVR is technically around anymore. Maybe the brand is still around, but it's like, a stamp on something. They got absorbed by a Russian company, and they did some weird stuff at the very end of their production, like neat looking, but extremely weird looking cars. So unique. Just like this one.
Unique. Look it up online.
At $3,000, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of potential something like this has. Like, anything that's wrong with it, you're gonna be making stuff for it.
Right. Yeah. A very specific TVR fan person is going to buy this car. And it's unfortunate that he's actually trying to sell it, is what's happening. There he is.
You think anybody that does that is like, they put their car for sale and it's been for sale so long, they start forgetting that it's on there and they look and they're like, oh man, look at that TVR, I should buy that. Oh,
wow, I remember owning one of those.
All right, Kurt Mac.
Here we have a 2004 Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally for only $800, and it's hard to tell why. By the way, the vehicle has front-end damage, but is driveway fixable. It's driveway fixable. His son foolishly decided to buy a new car instead of trying to fix this one. What a foolish boy.
I love ads that like call out kids.
Yes. Oh man, everything worked when parked 2 months ago, and we have been starting it just to keep it on life support, I'm assuming. For those of you maybe just listening, this car has been in a significant front end collision. Significant.
Yeah, enough to the point where the headlights are pointed inwards. Yes,
and there's something dangling out from underneath the bumper there, parts of the washer reservoir or something. They are not interested in parting it out. They want to sell it as whole. They can start and drive it up into a trailer, but it cannot be taken out on the road, in case you're confused. And also, in case you're confused, the accident was not reported, and it has a clean title. A clean title. What more do you want?
Oh, good.
So yeah, this one is just one of those. And we've had a few of these where it's obviously been an accident and it's whatever. They're not going to report it or whatever. But they also are very hopeful that somebody wants to buy a totaled car. It's totaled. They didn't even bother moving the totaled tent car cover off of it when it blew over.
And
this too. Good Lord,
man, this is some good photo editing.
Good photo editing and a real close-up look at what sort of driveway fixable damage you have here.
I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, I could probably fix that. This thing's boned. Like,
no, yeah.
It's the front core support is in an S shape. That's a lot more hurt than I thought.
Is that his son? I'm curious if that's his disappointment of a son that he's.
I like that they started with the wrong tool, so there's like these black shadows around the person.
There's too much feathering on that brush.
I also like that this fender is on, and then the previous picture, it's like dangling on the ground.
Right.
Oh man, what a fool to not fix this car.
I know. It includes maybe some shoes in the back and an NBA regulation basketball.
Oh, it better come with that.
And a Stanley Fix-A-Flat.
170,000 miles too.
Right.
I have experience with these cars. The Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally, which is the top of the line Lancer, which is also nowhere near a Lancer Evolution. Like they're not even in the same family of car. And the one that I have experience with, front end collision. I replaced the whole front end of it. It's one of the first cars I ever did, like I ever fixed up for somebody as like a job. As I put a new front end onto these cars. So what I'm learning is, if you have one of these, maybe put some brakes on it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe make sure the ABS system is working.
It's such a kid car too. Like,
Yeah.
this is Jimmy's first car.
Right, yeah, he put some rally wheels on it.
No, that's the OZ Rally Edition Special. That is
Oh, are
literally
those
the only thing that was special about the OZ Rally Edition.
the OZ edition? Oh, okay. Well, there we go. That shows how little I know. I need to look it up on the internet.
I only know, again, because it was literally this car. If it was gray, I would have been like, wait a minute.
That's been in multiple front end collisions.
That one was not bad. Like, the radiator was not buckled on the one that I fixed.
Mm.
Ran when parked.
Yeah, it ran when parked.
Look at the kink in that radiator hose.
I
Like,
know.
that's pushed in a lot.
Yeah, and $800. Why? Like, put it on the whatever the donation in the area takes it and
or
write it off or something.
scrap value, get your $150 and get it out of your driveway and out of your life. And stop hanging it over your kid's head.
Yeah.
Can't believe you didn't fix that thing.
Yeah, you crashed it. You got to fix it.
Do they have any pictures of their automobile? Oh, they got an old truck out in the yard. That's a normal car. I was hoping that they all had like damage on their vehicles. That would have made me happy. Whoa, what is... Okay, that's... G-Kurt, do you think this was owned by a teenager? I'm surprised there's not monster cans over there. But there's a can of Axe body spray. I can smell that car from here.
Cover up the shame.
Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of that car around, isn't there? It's just the kid crashed or was in an accident but was never reported.
Mm-hmm. I like that they went through the trouble of saying clean title.
Yeah.
Clean title is not a selling point if you can see the very visible total damage.
And it's not a selling point on a car that has no value. Like, if you told me a 240SX had a clean title, I'd be like, okay, that's starting to get hard to find. I'll give that some value. But an Econobox Mitsubishi, not a lot of value there. All right, let's find some value in cars that we shouldn't own but want to. And mine is a repeat, sort of. This is one that the show itself has brought upon me. The Nissan 200SX.
Ah.
And it is now haunting me because this is the thing. This is the way the internet works. Once you find one thing that you like, it's just going to keep hurtling things that you like at you until they're just in your driveway.
Yep, until there's a Subaru SVX in your garage.
That's not a project car.
It's not a project.
Now this one is an 84 200SX. The one that was on the previous show was a base model, but it was mint. Like, it was a perfect example of a 200SX. It just happened to be like, if you ticked all of the option boxes on how to make a bad 200SX, that one had that. Like, it was all wrong. Which maybe saved me. Unfortunately, this one ticks all the boxes of the right 200SX. So this is a turbo edition 1 with the era correct turbo badges and the, I don't know how to call them, like gridded off taillights.
Window pane
taillights. That's a good description. I really like those too. And the vents by the taillights. I really like this car now. This one had the CA18ET, which is a single overhead cam 1.8 liter turbo, non-intercooled, anemic, sad little engine. But it says turbo on it.
what is that purple thing? Is that a blow-off valve?
That is a. Oh my god, Kurt. Oh man. You just sounded so much more dad than my dad has ever sounded. Is that what you kids call blow-off valve? Are you using that for drugs?
Is that a vape?
Oh, that was good. But the main thing it has is the digital gauge cluster, which was an option, which is really nice.
Oh, that is an interesting tack. How it's like it like gradually gets tighter and tighter until the end is like 6, 7, 8. You're never gonna it's gonna die by the time you get up to 8. So let's just 6, 7, 8.
But I like the bar graph style thing here.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. It's got a boost gauge, a digital boost gauge. Pretty cool. Probably doesn't work. And look at the pattern on these seats.
Oh, is that over? Is that trumping the what do you like, the plaid?
Plaid? I think this might be over the plaid. Like, it's on the door panels too. It's like one of those optical illusion designs that looks like it's moving.
All these circles are the same size.
Yeah, it's exactly like that kind of design. Just, as your upholstery.
Yes, to completely blind and confuse you as you get into your car ready to drive.
Oh, I love it. Another thing I've really started to learn too much about these cars. This panel over here, on the passenger side, have their own gauge cluster that's all of the idiot lights. Like, all of the warning lights are on the passenger side. So your passenger can be like, hey, you check your engine lately?
Tell the driver this important information. Pass this along.
So I would very much so make the mistake of this car. It also has the hood bump. This is a factory turbo hood bump. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't even like make the hood any taller.
Oh, it's just been like added on top of the standard hood.
Right, yeah. And I think what actually happens is this comes from the V6 car, because there's a V6 version too, and like the hood is domed just a little bit there. But it was the 80s.
It was the 80s. It's been given a thorough brushing.
On trailer wash. I have to imagine the trailer. This picture was when they bought it.
That makes sense.
And in the background, you can see
like, on the bottom that brush. They just scrubbed it down like an elephant. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. And in the background there is an S13 Miata? Or Miata. I'm not sure. Those look like added on later googly eyes. But what is obviously like a drift car or something like that. So somebody probably bought this thinking that would be a cool drift car project, and then they realized what it really was and were like, that wouldn't be a cool drift car project. What's interesting to me is how much I hated these cars when I was a kid. Like, the only car I wanted was a 240. And there was probably tons of these around at that time. 15 years ago. And I was like, ew, those are old and they're not cool.
They're all boxy.
Yeah, that was a thing. I just really did not like the boxy cars. And then, through some sequence of head injuries, here I am.
Boxy here cars. You are, after very, what's the word I'm looking for? Meticulously bringing back the boxiness of that Supra.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Some of that probably rust has gotten in your blood, and
it's not tetanus.
It's love.
Oh no. Episode title. Oh, gross. Okay, I feel bad. I gotta get out of here. Gross.
I should have saved this for when ZK was here, but a mistake I would make, and
he doesn't need that level of sadness, Kurt.
No, a mistake I would make, and it's on the list. I need to remove some things from my life. One of 3 cars, 2 of 3 cars, maybe.
I thought that was going to get real personal for a second.
Oh no! I'm gonna start donating some organs. But a 1964 Corvair 4-speed, a really nice looking one, and they're only asking $3,500. The 4-speed transmission, newer paint, rebuilt motor, which you could say that, but who knows when it was rebuilt in the 70s.
It was rebuilt in 1964.
Yeah. Yada, yada, yada. Needs some work. The blinkers don't shut off automatically. The Corolla's the same way. And yeah, this one just it's hard to find the coupes in manuals. They're all either like, there's a lot of convertibles around here, you see.
Yeah.
And I'm not a convertible person.
And first gens. I don't see as many first gens either.
Mm-hmm. And overall, just you got your blurry picture.
Yeah.
This one has a little bit.
Always got to be a blurry picture.
Yep. This one has a little bit of the backwards baseball cap look that the sedans have.
Yeah. Not as much.
Not as much, but it's still kind of there.
Learned recently that the Impala also had the backwards cap thing on the sedans of this era. So it must have been a Chevy design language thing, but only for sedans. Is that really your state's? Oh, that's Oregon. Okay.
Yeah, this guy's in Portland or something.
Pacific Wonderland.
The Pacific Wonderland. The land of chocolate.
The interior's in pretty good shape, like as far as completeness.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have it doesn't have the 3 on the tree transmission. I as cool as those seem, it seems like it'd be a royal pain in the butt.
Yeah, did the Corvair ever have those? I imagine that might have been
I don't know.
Unusual thing for the rear engine.
Cubes.
Link that up.
We were gonna get Cubes here this week because ZK was gone, and Cubes is also out at the track, doing
All
things cooler than us.
Yeah, actually being involved in this hobby in
Gross.
real life instead of just on the internet.
Gross.
So yeah, it's in really decent shape.
Been repainted a bunch of times, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of this stuff should be painted the way it is.
Yeah,
like the hood latch and the trunk latch.
Yeah, that's something I noticed. It has for a trunk, it has the standard hood safety latch, so it doesn't like blow open in the wind, but it's not facing forward.
When you're going in reverse, you don't want that thing flapping up.
Right? Yeah. Now that's something I've always wondered about old cars, and I don't know if you have, but the battery terminal is like this flat braided fabric.
Mm-hmm.
How and why? Like where's I expect a cable, a cylindrical tube of electricity, and this is a flat. It just looks like a belt.
It's like a braided cable, but flat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they still exist, actually. Even the 240 has a braided cable. Not for the negative terminal, but they use those still to like ground the engine to the body in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. Audience, help us, because I don't know why those rather than, a cable. We know they have the technology. There's one right there.
Cable. Yeah.
So why that? I don't know.
A mystery of science.
Or engineering.
Or those two, yeah.
Or it was cheaper.
Well, yeah, also, they just had a big length of flat braided cable and just chop, chop, chop.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be something like that was just how they were made early on, like early aircraft design, something like that. It just kept getting included. I don't know. I'm curious to find out now. Overall, nice car.
Yeah.
Terrible color.
Really?
It's like not plum.
Mm-hmm.
It's not mauve. It's not red. It's not maroon. It doesn't know what it is.
True. Yeah. I guess it's, as driving a bright yellow car and a bright red car, I can appreciate darker colors that aren't black. Black kind of can be like, oh, black car. It can be cool in some situations, but I like to have a little zazz, just a little zazz. So there's a little bit of a color in that. I don't know. It wouldn't stop me from making the mistake if I found one in this condition and I was looking and I had the money. It'd be like, yeah, okay.
I don't know if it would stop me, but it would make me be like, maybe I should paint it. it's probably like era correct, and you can tell it's like a either an at-home spray or like into those
Right. Yeah.
Mako paint jobs or whatever. Not sponsored. Yeah, that's the only thing I could nitpick.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool otherwise. Excellent condition. Now let's bring it down a
hold
notch
on a
there.
minute.
Right? Now
Wait
everybody
a
knows
minute.
like our mistake price range too, because I think mine was 3,000. Yep, 3,000.
Yeah.
And yours was like 3,500.
Right. Yeah. And that's about the prices I've of the two mistakes I've already made.
There you go. Watch
Mhm.
out, people. Watch out for those ads that are in the 3,000 to 4,000 range. They'll get you. All right, now we'll move on to something on the milder side. Not a Futurama joke. Take a ride on the mild side. That's a joke from somewhere.
Not ringing any bells.
Ah, well, that's a shame.
It apparently was too mild for me to remember.
I feel dirty doing this category without ZK here, since this is like his brand. His brand is mild. Oh man, I don't know how he would feel about my mildly interesting car, but it's probably gonna be strange for some people. It is a 1996 Volkswagen Passat GLX wagon. That's it.
That's it.
That I actually scrolled by this car multiple times, and I was just like, huh, and then kept scrolling, and then finally, something caught my eye.
I seen it.
It's a VR6. It is a VR6 Passat wagon with, I tell ya, a manual transmission.
What? I feel like I've never seen one like with that. This front end, it looks very European compared to all the Passat wagons or Passats I've seen.
It was a very narrow window of time this vehicle existed. There's not really a lot of this Passat around. I don't know anything about it. All I know is it's got the 2.8 VR6, it's got a manual, and they did exist. I did at least look up that far to make sure it wasn't like a VR6 badge like slapped on there. I've often thought about say I accidentally needed to haul around more than 2 people in my life. What would I do? Because I don't like sedans. Like, there's very few sedans I like. I really hate SUVs.
Most recently, when what was the Infinity or something? I think in the last mildly interesting that ZK had. Just 4-door sedans. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of great ones, and there's a lot of like, oh, cool, fast ones or whatever. But I'm like, not a fan.
Yeah, there's just something about it that's so. I guess it's just one of those things that's like, it's so ordinary, or at least it was to us. It's probably not anymore. Like,
right? Yeah.
To a kid today, the norm is a Ford Escape or a Honda CR-V. Sedans are kind of unusual now, I guess.
Yeah.
But to me, still in my mind, I see a sedan and my brain goes,
yeah. Why didn't you get the wagon?
Right. I was never a big wagon fan either, but if you put a VR6 in it and I was allowed to straight pipe it, then I would do it.
Now, are these front wheel, all wheel?
It'll be front wheel drive. All the first generation VR6 stuff is front wheel drive.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, fine by me. It's still, at the end of the day, it's still, a big wagon. Like, all-wheel drive is not going to make it interesting, really. But
tell that to Subaru.
Yeah, and Subaru fans. But I thought it was mildly interesting.
I am mildly interested.
Give them a call. Tell them that you're mildly interested.
I'm mildly interested. I do not have cash in hand.
And I'm not available to look at it. Click.
No, yes. I am across the country.
I think that's a good, mildly interesting choice. Let's see what Kurt has found that's mildly interesting.
I might be able to out-mild you here.
Is that possible?
With a 2009 Suzuki SX4.
Hey, man. Got the, wagon memo.
I do. Yeah, it's got a full. It's got a hatchback. But yeah, these you see around quite a bit. The reason I kind of like these is I sat in one at like the Chicago Auto Show before I moved to Arizona or anything like that. Just because it was kind of directly competing with like the Impreza, the Crosstrek, and things like that. The visibility in these is amazing. And you can kind of see based on how the A pillar all swoops downward.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, the front end, like you're almost like looking out and down, like you could see the road in front of your wheels practically. And I'm a big fan of visibility, being able to see while it's driving. But also a cool thing, I'm not sure about the manual. This one's a manual, but I know at least with the automatic, it had a manual. You could lock the diff, the center diff, you could lock manually.
Oh,
Which
interesting.
is kind of unusual for a small CUV of this size.
Yeah, it probably uses the underpinnings of like a Jimny or their other SUVs.
But yeah, they're kind of dopey looking. They have a bit of a look about them that isn't particularly sporty.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a cheap car, but it doesn't look, it's not like offensive looking.
Right. And this guy, it loves them so much that he bought a more recent one and wants to sell his old one.
I feel like anytime I see that, I'm encouraged to buy their car. Like anybody that's willing to buy another one or has more of them or bought a newer one, it makes me go, oh, they actually liked this car.
Right, yeah, they might have actually taken care of it.
And I mean, 2009, it looks used, but I guess it is 10 years old now.
Yeah, it does say it has 240,000 miles.
I mean, I've seen cars with 24,000 miles that look more abused, so they definitely did take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, despite the locking diff, probably not a aggressive off-roader or anything like that, but...
Neither is the Subaru XV.
Listen. Slap some painted black wheels and nubby tires on that thing, and you'll still get stuck. It looks cool while you're doing it.
I feel like this almost looks a little cooler, maybe off-roaded out, until you get to the front, because the front looks super car.
Yeah, it's almost drifting minivan-esque in the front.
Have those words ever been tied together in that order before?
Minivan-esque.
Drifting minivan-esque.
But yeah, I mean, even like here, you can see there's like the A pillar and there's that quarter window that like is swooping all the way down.
Yeah,
I just remember sitting in it and being like, I can see everything.
I can't wait for you to visit Florida again, so I can take you for a ride in the Audi, and you'll just be like, this is awful. This is the worst car ever made.
I'm having a panic attack. I'm so claustrophobic.
It's not as bad as the Solstice was, but it's real bad for that. All right. I've been mildly enthused.
Mildly enthused and mildly
interested.
You
got it. Nice. Well, it has 240,000 miles, so it's on brand. I have to go buy it now. I could never drive it. I just have to own it.
yeah, just because you can't. You gotta leave it.
It was like $1,900 too. That I would put that one into the category of like great first cars.
Yeah.
Let's start making a list of like Brandwood Park's first car specials.
There we go. I mean, Suzuki, they don't sell cars here anymore, so I don't know what repair and part situation's about.
I want to say they're selling cars here again.
Oh, are they? Oh, I thought they stopped.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. CK, help us!
Yes, we are uninformed and unresearched going into this episode.
Oh, man. But you know who is informed, Kurt?
Who?
Not Les Cube, so I don't know about this transition. He certainly wouldn't know anything about that Suzuki. But I'm sure he knows something about something, and he's going to tell us something.
I don't know about you, but I am absolutely baffled by new car shoppers. Not because they're buying new cars. That I begrudgingly understand. No, because how many of them don't know what the hell they want? How do you do that? How is that possible? How can you end up at a dealership to look at one car and end up with something entirely different? Boggles the mind.
It boggles the mind, Kurt.
My mind is boggled.
Have you? I guess no. We're actually terrible people for this. Neither one of us have ever car shopped that way before, I think.
Right. No. We don't have a dissenting voice for this this
I don't know.
topic.
I don't know that ZK would be on that side either. All I have is like I have relatives that have shopped that way before. Like they go to the dealership basically to get told what car to buy.
Right.
And that seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, even just with basically anything these days. Like if I'm gonna buy a toaster, like just like I do all the research and like what do I want in a toaster? I find the toaster I want and I buy it when it's on sale. But yeah, certainly with I said I went to the car show. I knew I wanted to look at the Subaru line without going to a dealership and dealing with salesmen. So that's why I went to the Chicago car show and I sat in all the Subarus and I was like, uh-oh, the BRZ is very comfortable. um,
And you
this
got
is
your
not
complimentary vape.
Yeah. But yeah, I was looking at all like similar cars, the Suzuki, I even looked at the Volkswagen and the Volvo C30 when they were still making that. Little hatchbacks, basically, I wanted. But yeah, I don't know how that works for people who don't know what they want.
I know that the car industry counts on it. There are so many cars that I think, if not for this kind of buyer, nobody would ever buy. Like they need that audience of people that treat cars not even as appliance, but as like disposable.
Yeah.
Like going to get a car is just a task in their life, and they get their car, they use it until it can't be used anymore, or they're, I don't know, just too unfashionable in it or whatever, and then they go and do it again. Like it's a cycle of that. I can't do that. Like I have to know exactly the car I want, and then I can't even like go to dealerships and be like, "Hey, this is the car I want. Do you have one?" No. I need to go in there and be like, "This is the car I want. Let me know when you found it."
Right.
Yeah,
I suppose it's all comes down. I guess I don't know. I question how many people go in completely blind.
every time I've been there, there's been people like that.
Huh.
Just do it. It's
they
like a
must have
circus.
seen-
They're just following around this car salesman, like, "Oh, look at this one."
I wonder how many sales that ends in. Like that seems like that'd be like, okay, we'll think about it sort of situation.
Mm-mm.
Of course, I can't put my mind in a salesman's mind. Like I can't be that kind of aggressive and jerk facey. So like I can't push it on anybody. But yeah, like that's what commercials and marketing and billboards and like putting hamsters in little hatchbacks and
Real
saying,
people, not
this is a used
actors.
car. Yeah.
Oh.
Matthew McConaughey will tell you what car you want.
Oh man. Yeah, I fear that those real people, not actors, are sometimes real people. That's
This is
what
a
I fear the most.
BMW, isn't it?
I have to imagine those people actually exist.
This clearly Chevy Malibu is a BMW, right? No, Mercedes. Yeah, I don't. That is. I was gonna say the people whose cars are an appliance, in which case just buy a Corolla or an Accord or something or whatever. But yeah, the people who, like even you said, in fashion or it falls out of fashion with them, I wouldn't imagine they even make the decision based on that. Because that would be a preference.
I guess. So yeah, there's like a level of complete non-preference, and then there's the level of like my car is just like an accessory to me,
Hmm.
and then there's the scale slides all the way up to the people of us that are like, this is the car for me. This is the car I want at this exact moment.
Right. This specific one right
Yes.
here for
Mhm.
sale for $3,500 on Craigslist.
Interesting. I'm trying to imagine of anybody, even within like my friends, like our communities, that's like this, and yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, I know people who have ended up with cars because they needed one and family member or friend was selling one. So they're like, okay, I'll take this car because it's a car that works and I need to get somewhere. But that's not new car buying.
Right.
That's just like out of convenience.
Kurt, I have the best segue in the world right now.
I'm waiting.
So we have to go to the best ads
Mm-hmm.
so that I can click on my best ad, which is for a 2002 Chrysler PT Cruiser.
Hey,
These cars exist purely out of fad. There was nothing good about a Chrysler PT Cruiser. Not even one that has an airbrushed tropical theme paint job. But
mind you, with an airbrushed picture of the PT Cruiser on the beach.
I did not notice that before, and now I'm sold. But no, this is the kind of car that I feel like people went into the dealership and they were like, I'm gonna go get myself a Dodge Neon. And they were like walking in there to get a Dodge Neon. They were like, hey, you seen this new PT Cruiser? This is what everyone's driving right now. You gotta try this out. And they convinced them to spend, $5,000 more than the Neon to get the PT Cruiser. Which has not ended well for the PT Cruiser.
It has not.
This one here is a Dream Cruiser Edition, Series 1, which
Of one.
apparently not, because this is number 5,534. Which, I mean, at what point does being part of a series not even matter anymore when you have 5,534 of them? But also, we'll come back to that.
Ow, my eye!
Also, they're asking $9,500 or best offer on the Windows.
Oh my god. I didn't even see that. I can't see the price here.
$9,500 or best offer
Oh.
on the Windows. Out of curiosity, I started to kind of look around and see how much is a PT Cruiser worth these days. It took me 60 cars for sale to find one over $3,000. This has to be the most depreciated car in history. They were asking $9,500, but now, did I even include? Now they've dropped it to $3,995. They say
78,000 miles.
They say because of a family emergency, which is fair. You need to sell the car, you need some money to deal with some things, but I think the emergency is probably that we realized this PT Cruiser is not worth $9,500.
The Series 1 actually is an edition of 7,500. And this is number 55534 out of 7,500. Those are rare numbers.
I wonder how many still exist, and do they all have airbrushed on them? Or I think the airbrushed is after the fact. I think the Dream Cruiser is just
sure.
this stuff.
Yeah, well, all of the Cruisers had the body-colored dashboard panels. The interior looks like it's also got body-colored accents.
Why do you know this, Kurt?
Because, not to throw family members under the PT Cruiser, but my older sister, I went out shopping because she knew what car she wanted. It was the PT Cruiser.
How did you not help her?
I didn't know any better because I was driving a Chevy Cavalier. She wanted it, so we went out and test drove some, and then we also test drove a Chevy. What was the Chevy version? HHR.
The HHR, the car of my parents.
She ended up with a PT Cruiser, and yeah, nothing but problems. And I don't even think it had. I think it had less than 100,000 miles when she bought it, but it, yeah, and she does not have it anymore. But wow, endless summer and a finger in your eye.
And the worst attempt to cover a license plate in history.
Yeah, you failed and still uploaded it. Am I sure that looks like a toe? Is that a toe? Gross.
Oh, man.
Get your toe out of my face.
I can't believe I missed the fact there's a PT Cruiser on the PT Cruiser.
Mhm.
If only there was a toy version with the airbrushed on it on the dashboard.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is I am shocked. This is a scary thing indeed. It might have been the color too, like the actual base color is some whatever this golden flake.
Golden green? Like it's got
golden
a weird
shower.
There's another PT Cruiser that I know of back in my day of being a cart pusher. Car seeing was one of the only things that kept me sane. And there was one that drove around all the time that had twin side pipes and was dressed up as like a Chevy Nomad in like headlight decals and everything. And I think the most impressive part is the dual side pipes were both functional. I'll give you a second, just in your mind, think of what that sounded like.
What it sounded like. I'm also thinking how. Like,
well, I don't want to know how.
Yeah, the routing on that, I don't understand.
And they were like the full, full length of the panel, the stainless, like a Corvette style side pipes.
Right.
Good stuff. PT Cruiser was a mania. Like it was the talk of everything when this car came out. I received a die-cast model of one when they came out because somebody thought that it was such a monumental vehicle, I would want one.
Before she bought it, she liked them, and I, for Christmas, got her a little toy model of a PT Cruiser. So I can admit now, in my wiser years, that I perhaps put a little bit of fuel on the fire.
I mean, it was different. Like, it was shockingly different than everything that was sold in that year.
Right. If the outside look of a car is as deep as you went into it, it was very different.
Yep.
Ooh, and this one is extremely aggressively different.
Aggressively different. It's also excessively Florida. So very Florida. And you know what?
Just Cocoa Beach in our endless summer. Guy.
All right, let's round this off with Kurt's best ad of the week.
A little bit of a theme here. A little bit of a theme.
With the themes.
The theme car. Yeah, the painted theme cars. We've got a 95 Mazda Miata. Not anything unusual, but this one is must-see because it is a Michael Jordan fan special. Hitting right in the top of the sweet spot of prices, $4,000.
All right. Before we go anywhere.
Okay.
They're aware of the height of Michael Jordan and the height of a Mazda Miata, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
But yes, this one has a wonderful. This is not like an airbrushed piece of art. This is a livery. I would call this a. It's got racing decals, sponsorships, one of which is apparently Michael Jordan himself.
Impressive.
Yeah, this one
Please list the sponsors.
we have Oakley and Hot Wheels, Pioneer, and I can't read too many of the others. Dutch Brothers Coffee,
Nitro Circus.
Nitro Circus. This is all stuff that this person just liked, and he added a
Yes.
bunch of decals and a
Uh-huh.
Zoom Zoom decal. And I didn't notice the license plate frame. Godspeed.
Godspeed. Yep. If you're ever wondering what company makes all of the cheesy aftermarket parts for cars, Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Also, dual exhaust.
I just
four-cylinder.
noticed that.
Yep. Not terribly uncommon. Pretty uncommon for a Miata. I've never seen one with dual exhaust like that. A first gen. Sadly, it's a pretty darn clean car.
Right, yeah, it is. If you're looking for a physically messed with,
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
What
I
is
think that might just be a blanket.
I hope so.
I don't think that's the top. I mean, that is not Michael Jordan themed.
So really, the only thing Michael Jordan is one logo on the hood and one on the fender door.
And on the sides.
Oh God, those advanced auto parts.
The
Vents.
3M sticky tape
Yep.
applied on.
Oh, I didn't see the one on the dashboard. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that one either. Something is out across the top of the windshield. Doesn't say Michael Jordan.
It does. No?
No, that says like
That's an I. Michael Special? No?
I don't know. That's a weird one. I just noticed. Is that the guy's name?
That might
he's
be the guy's
driver?
name.
He's a fan of Michael Jordan because he shares the first name. Boba Fett is apparently a sponsor.
There's Michael Jordan's actual signature.
Right, yeah.
Hmm.
This one is, again, a very specific audience. If you yourself are a huge Chicago Bulls era Michael Jordan, number 23 fan, and you're also looking for a rear-wheel drive two-seater
Car that
convertible.
can't fit Michael Jordan in it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, his knee would be in his chin. Then have I got the car for you?
Extra Miata books included what?
Oh.
No Michael Jordan books?
Yeah, what about
Come on.
the repeat, the four-peat, or whatever all they called all their. I should know this. I lived during that time in the Chicago area.
I lived during that time, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, he's got the vinyl top. He also had the hard top.
I mean, yeah, this is
one of the pictures.
Honestly, this is a good buy. It's a
Mhm.
1.8. That's the nicer motor of the first gen. It's got a hard top. Those are like a grand easy. It's got, kind of the normal bolt-on-y stuff, but it's not overly hacked up. It's a good buy. But you're going to have a very annoying afternoon removing some decals.
Right, yeah, hoping that they didn't clear coat over those.
Yeah. No, this is not that level of effort. Not that level of effort. Oh, that's also a Michael Jordan.
It is.
in a
on a
testicle sack?
basketball.
Oh, that's a basketball.
Wait. What did you say?
It's a testicle sack.
It does look like it's got. I mean, the Michael Jordan looks like a nice fold between the contents.
Oh man.
That's a weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, and it exists, and it can be yours for only $4,000.
Let me know, everybody, when you buy this, and let me know if those signatures are real.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they're not. Alrighty, well, that does it for the show today. I think this will definitely be the only episode that comes in at the time that we actually intended these shows to be. I didn't even realize that the hardtop is on in this picture.
Yes.
That's more effort than anything. Taking that hardtop on and off just for the sake of taking pictures. I'm impressed now.
Yeah, getting up on a ladder to then take the picture of the hardtop.
Could you
Went out of
use
his
ladder?
way.
Oh man, that car doesn't come up to your knees, Kurt.
Perhaps Michael Jordan, he's just that tall. He's the one
Ah,
selling it. Good Lord.
gosh. Now
A
it's worth
celebrity owned.
at least $5 more.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed, everybody. We'll be back next time with probably our regular hosts. Maybe. I hope so, because we don't know enough about certain automobiles, and we need ZK to fill those gaps.
Right, yeah, we needed, at least in a few segments, some actual knowledge.
Actual knowledge. We're just here for the memes. Bye, everybody.
Jordan.
Wait, was that the only... I thought there was another, like, Jordan-ism.
It's normally Kobe. Kobe.
Nah, yeah, I thought there was a Jordanism.
He just stuck his tongue out while he dunked on fools.